in our Supta Baddha Kodasana. So laying on the back, good. Resting your arms wherever feels right for you, and just having a quick scan of your spine, sending the whole back in contact to the mat. We can stay here, or we can bring sole of the feet together, opening up into our butterfly. Remember, we can always come out from any posture whenever we need. Feel free to take any breaks. And like we usually do, starting to invite your attention to arrive. So maybe closing the eyes for a better introspection, or sending the gaze anywhere around the ceiling. And starting to call the attention into that space that you are, away from our worries, fears, and distractions in general, away from wherever is calling for the attention, and starting to arrive in our present moment. So just visiting that space that you are, the walls, the ceiling, with some safety, the floor providing with some support, and starting to allow those body parts in contact to the mat to find that comfort. But if we find that the shoulders are really tight and stiff, starting to allow them soften, releasing towards the mat. The same with the back of the head, back of the neck. And on each exhalation, starting to release those inner thighs, any tensions gripping around the hips. Allowing a bit of disconnection. And eventually allowing the whole body to embrace that comfort and stillness as we enter into deeper bodies. So let's check in how the breath body feels. How is the breath flowing? And if it's possible, let's find out where the breath is happening physically in the body. So maybe we find a chesty breath, maybe something more abdominal. Let's find out. No need to judge or being critical with whatever we find. Let's simply observe. Great, and whatever we find is a good place for us to begin the practice. So slowly let's allow that breath to lengthen in a natural way. We don't need to force the lungs neither. Let's allow that inhalation to expand from the abdomen. Slowly, slowly expanding, opening up the rib cage, your chest muscles, and the collarbones. Also the back of the upper body is opening up, feeling how it's pressing down the mat. And with the exhalation, imagine that wave decreasing from collarbones back to the belly. And see if we can count consciously about 10 more deep breaths. It's okay if the attention goes back into our distractions, we'll recall it back into the breath. And about the last 3 breaths. And gently we'll call the attention back into our bodies, starting to tap thumbs on the rest of the fingertips. A bit of warm up for the wrists. Good, then gently sending sole of the feet flat on the mat, knees pointing up to the ceiling. Great. So just from here, let's begin with a gentle movement, pelvic movement. So with the exhalations, we want to squeeze the belly button into the spine and feeling that we are pressing the mat with the whole back. The lower back, middle back is pressing the mat. Sending lower ribs into the body, feeling that activation of your abdomen. Then with the inhalation, we want to do the opposite. External rotation of the hips, so we find good space between spine and mat. The tailbone points down to the mat, and we send the ribs, the belly, towards the ceiling. Good, so see if we can engage this little movement with the breath. Just taking your time, you may like to slow down the rhythm or speed up. Repeating a few more rounds on your own. And repeating the last round. And we'll come back into our neutral spine. Great, so from here, let's do a few dynamic spinal twists, just how you are. Taking an inhalation here, sending slightly spine to the mat. And with the exhalations, we'll be dropping knees to the sides. Doesn't matter if we don't reach the floor or whatever with knees. Starting to unlock the spine with the inhalations back to center, then exhaling knees to your other side. And the same, trying to guide the movement with the breath. And if the neck feels all right, we can also drop nose to the opposite shoulder that we are dropping knees. And trying to finish your exhalation on the twist and the inhalation with knees pointing up to the ceiling. Good. So a few more rounds on your own. Excellent. And repeating the last couple of rounds or so. And we'll come back to center with knees pointing up to the ceiling. Great, so from here, let's draw right ankle on top of the left thigh. We like to bring the right foot flex as much as we like, as much as we can. So the right leg is activated. We are also activating those muscles and ligaments around hips. Good, so we can stay here pressing away with the right hand, your right inner thigh. Another option, we can elevate the left foot, interlacing hands around the left hamstring. Good. So just choose whatever feels right for you today, allowing the shoulders to be relaxed on the mat and also the neck. And we'll take about 5 good breaths here. All right, and using the next exhalation to drop the foot back on the mat. Then we'll finish to cross the right knee on top of the left. So imagine we need to make a pile of knees, one on top of the next. Good. Making sure the spine is on the mat. Taking an inhalation here, sending lower ribs and belly button into the spine. And exhaling, elevating both knees. Good. We can stay here. We can hug shins. Maybe the bottom shin, the right shin, sorry, the left shin. Good. And looking for opposites for the hips, hip flexors. And the last deep breath. And with the next inhalation, dropping both feet back on the mat. Good. Maybe give a little shake to the legs, trying to disconnect muscle from bones. And we'll repeat the same with the left leg. So again, finding spine on the mat, slightly belly button in, left ankle below your right knee, left foot flex, activating the left leg. Then picking whatever option is best, maybe staying here, pressing away the left side with the hand, or maybe elevating foot, right foot, interlacing hands around right leg. And the shoulders relaxed, forehead relaxed, neck relaxed. Last deep breath. Then inhaling, right foot back on the mat. Let's finish crossing left knee. And maybe staying here, or maybe with the next exhalation, elevating knees. Or maybe last option, interlacing hands behind the right shin. And about 5 more breaths. And using next inhalation to drop both feet on the mat. Little shake to the legs. Great. And just dropping knees to one of your sides. And through fetal pose, we'll find a seated position. Great. So from our seated position, we'll go in our tabletop. Hands under the shoulders, knees under your hips. Great. We can tuck the feet in as well if we like to stretch the fascia behind the feet. Then let's come back with the attention into the belly button, trying to bring a flat spine, pressing hands on the mat, sending the shoulder blades away from each other. And try to remain with nice and long neck so we don't fall here. Crown of the head aligned with your tailbone. And holding here for about 2 or 3 more breaths. Good, and now we can relax the feet. All right, let's keep pressing the mat with the opposite side of the feet, and let's make some circles with the knee. So let's, for example, start with the left knee. We'll be opening the knee to the side, then drawing some circles. Any direction, we'll do both. Good, and changing directions. One more circle. Back to tabletop. And we'll do the same with the right. Few circles, opening hips. Then changing directions. Last one. And we'll come back into our tabletop. Great, so a few cat-cows here, warming up the rest of the spine. Keep pressing the mat with the hands, palms, and starting to send shoulder blades as far as possible from each other, dropping head and neck. Starting to arch the whole back, and dropping tailbone towards the mat. Trying to exaggerate this movement as much as your spine allows. Then here, sending belly button into the spine. Empty the lungs. And opposite, inhaling, sending the tailbone pointing up to the ceiling, sinking ribs to the mat, sinking hard to the mat, feeling the shoulder blades get closer, and the nose points front. We try to remain with solid base, so arms extended. Good. And repeat a few more rounds, maybe closing your eyes, and allow the breath to guide this movement. And our last round. And we'll come back in our neutral spine. Great. So from here, sending sole of the big toes together and knees to the edges of the mat. Just have in mind your knees, ideally sitting on the heels and lengthening the upper body, resting forehead on the mat. If the knees don't feel comfortable, just allow hips to be away from the mat, giving a bit of space for the knees. Great, and we'll try to count about 10 deep breaths here. Trying to guide the awareness into the abdomen. So with the inhalations, expanding the abdomen, rib cage, collarbones, just like we did at the beginning. And with the exhalations, trying to sink belly button all the way into your spine. So helping the lungs to release any residual air coming there. And our last deep breath. Very good. So let's remind those arms in this position. Keep them there and slowly coming back up into your tabletop. Knees under your hips. Good. And tucking the feet in. External rotation of your arms. So with the inside part of the elbow, we are pointing front. Good. Solid base for your downward facing dog. External rotation of hips, so the tailbone points up to the ceiling. And slowly keep pressing palms on the mat. sending hips all the way up. So we keep the knees bent for now. Good. The arms more or less parallel to your ears. Keep sending your hips up, so keep pressing palms on the mat. Good, then maybe a little paddle here with your feet, bending one knee, extending your opposite leg. Great, then slowly, slowly, let's make the way forward. So walking with your feet, one foot at a time, bending knees as much as we need. Great. And we keep the knees bent. Great, and let's interlace hands at the back of the neck. Good, allowing the gravity to work on your elbows, trying to release those tension from shoulders, and maybe with your thumbs massaging the back of the neck. Good. And we'll repeat a couple of rounds of Surya Namaskars and salutation, but really gentle, really slow flow. Good. Then allowing head relaxed, arms relaxed, shoulders relaxed. Just like jelly. Double check with yourself. Good. And bending knees a lot. And slowly inhaling, rolling the spine from your lumbars slowly to upper spine. Good. And the head, neck and head for last. Then inhaling, sending shoulders up toward the ears, exhaling back and down. Great. So inhaling, reaching up with your arms parallel to the ears, lower ribs into the abdomen. Good. Exhaling, folding forward, hands on your mat, bending knees. Good. Inhaling, the right foot back, and we step back and we drop the knee. Good. So from here, engaging your inner thighs, both inner thighs. Good. Then inhaling, reaching up with your arms. And we keep sending lower ribs into the body, long spine. Good. And exhaling, let's bring the right elbow on top of the left, a bit of shoulder release here. Good. We rest palms wherever we reach. Good. Keep sending shoulder blades away from each other, elbows more or less parallel to your shoulders. If the right foot doesn't feel comfortable, we can also rest the foot, but keep pressing foot against your mat. Good. And the last deep breath. And with the next inhalation, releasing your arms and reaching all the way up. And with the next exhalation, left foot back, tucking right toes in, left foot back, downward facing dog. One more breath, keep engaging inner thighs, belly button into the spine. And slowly coming into your tiptoes, dropping knees, bending elbows, parallel to the shoulders if possible, and sending chest on the mat. Then extending the legs, pressing mat with the back of the feet, engaging the glutes, inhaling, finding your cobra. And stay here for 2 or 3 more breaths. Trying to use those muscles around the abdomen and lower back more than your hands and arms. And exhaling, forehead back into the mat. Inhaling, extending your arms, tabletop. Exhaling, downward facing dog. And with the next inhalation, right foot forward between hands, dropping the left knee, engaging inner thighs. Inhaling, reaching up with your arms. And the same, activating front of the body. And let's bring left elbow on top of the right. And if left foot feels uncomfortable, relaxing foot. Last deep breath. And slowly inhaling, releasing the arms, reaching all the way up. Exhaling, hands on the mat, and the left foot comes forward, stepping forward. Good. Trying to bring nose towards your knees and belly button into the spine. Then inhaling, reaching all the way up on your own way. Maybe flat spine or maybe rolling up like we did before. Exhaling, palms together, back into the heart. And 1 breath or 2. And inhaling, reaching up, arms parallel to the ears. Lower ribs into the body. Exhaling, folding forward, hands on the mat. Inhaling, right foot back. We try to keep now the right leg extended and using your fingertips. So pressing fingertips, keep pressing the heel towards the mat and keep engaging your hamstrings and inner thighs. 1 more breath. Next exhalation, left foot back into your downward facing dog. Now we can place the whole palm on the mat. Keep pressing palms, sending hips up. And coming into your tiptoes, slowly dropping knees. Exhaling, chest on the mat. Inhaling, cobra, squeezing glutes. 2 more breaths. Sending shoulders away from ears. Exhaling, nose to the mat. Inhaling, extending the arms. Exhaling, another downward facing dog. Great, and inhaling, right foot forward between hands. Try to keep left leg extended. Inhaling, long spine. And the next exhalation, left foot forward. Nose to your knees. Empty the lungs. And inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling, hands to the heart. Great. So from here we'll go back on the mats and we'll find a seated position. Great. Legs in front, extended. Trying to sit on your sitting bones. If we struggle to maintain the back straight, then maybe folding your mat or bring a bit of support under your sitting bones. Great, so from here, let's draw in the right foot into your half butterfly. Good. Left foot flex, inhaling, reaching up. And again, sending lower ribs into the body. And with your exhalation, folding forward. Good. Observing here the lumbars. If they feel really tight, then let's bend the knee as much as we need to find that comfort. And maybe dropping head and neck feels good as a release for the upper body. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes bring a bit of discomfort. So if this happens, just send nose to your toes. Good. Then we'll try to count about 5 more breaths. And with the next inhalation, walking with fingertips towards your sitting bones. Great. So from here, let's try to bring left foot into the mat. We can stay here. And another option is sending the left foot at the back. Good. If the knee feels good, then we stay here. If we feel sitting bones and hips are aligned, then we stay here. If not, coming back into the initial position. Great, so we'll take an inhalation, reaching all the way up. And with the exhalation, let's twist to the left. So resting the left hand around your right hand around your left side, then helping you to bring that twist. Good. And if we are in the second position, the same. Good. We'll keep here about 5 breaths. So with the inhalations, trying to find the length of your spine. And with the exhalation, twisting, helping yourself with the hands. The last deep breath. Great. And inhaling, reaching up with the arms. Exhaling back to center. Good. So we'll come out from the posture. Maybe give your legs another shake. And we'll do the same with the other side. Finding your seated position, finding that support under your sitting bones if needed. Let's take the left foot in, only the sole of the foot in contact to your side. right foot flex, lower ribs into the body. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling, folding forward. Observing lower back and bending knee whenever we need. Last deep breath. And using the next inhalation to walk back to center. And I will bring right foot on the mat, or the same, sending right foot back. And we'll take an inhalation, reaching up. Exhaling, twist to the right. Few breaths. Inhaling, lengthen the spine. Exhaling, twisting towards the right side. And the last deep breath. And inhaling, reaching up with the arms. Exhaling, back to the mat. Very good. Great, so releasing both legs. Little shake. Good, and just finding a comfortable seated position, maybe cross-legged or easy pose, or extending legs if that's better for you. Good, and we'll take an inhalation, reaching all the way up with the arms, parallel to the ears. Good, and with the exhalation, let's drop the right hand and begin to walk with the right hand away from the hips. Remind both sitting bones on the mat and keep sending the heart all the way up to the ceiling. Doesn't matter how far we go with the hand. Good. Good stretch at the left lateral. That's all it matters now. Great. And with the next inhalation, sending only the left fingers pointing down to the mat. Really good stretch for the neck and shoulders. So finding that good space in between. And just bending the right elbow a little bit. And with the next inhalation, slowly back to center. Great. So we'll swap position of the leg, sending the one you've got in front behind. And we'll do one more time the same. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling, dropping left fingertips. And start to walk towards the left, opening up the heart, chest. Great. Next inhalation, right fingers pointing down to the mat. Finding that stretch in between ear and shoulder. Then bending, flexing the left elbow, just giving a bit of space, then inhaling back to center. Great, so from here, coming up from the posture, and we'll make our way back to the mat. So rolling the spine, finding supine posture. We can extend the legs or keep the feet on the mat. And we'll use the last few moments to embrace stillness without any effort as we scan with our consciousness the physical body. Just starting to call the attention at the toes and observing that connection in between toes and the rest of the feet. And the feet connecting to the ankles, ankles connecting to your shins, calves, knees, back of the knees, thighs, hamstrings, quadriceps. Inner groins, the hip bones, pelvis, the hip joints, belly button, abdomen, the glutes, coccyx, sitting bones, lower back, the middle back, thoracic spine, upper spine, the rib cage, diaphragm, sternum, chest muscles, collarbones, the front of the shoulders and the back of the shoulders, back of the arms, front of the arms, the wrists, palms, hands, fingers, fingertips, and fingernails. And just using few of your breaths with the inhalations, observing the new oxygen coming in, and with your exhalation, allowing this oxygen, this new energy, new prana, to reach every corner of the body. And let's do the same with the head from the throat, observing the laterals, the neck, back of the head, the crown of the head, both brain hemispheres, forehead, temples, eyebrows, eye sockets, the tip of the nose, both nostrils, the cheeks, the ears, teeth, lips, the tongue, the chin. And using few inhalations, observing the oxygen coming in, and with your exhalation, guiding your new energy all the corners of your head. And this relaxation is finishing. Slowly starting to call the attention back into your few deep breaths. And starting to allow some gentle wiggle coming from fingers and toes. And bits by bits, allowing any movement. Maybe sending knees towards the chest and a little rock side to side, reactivating the back of the body. Great, and just dropping knees to one of the sides, finding fetal pose. If you need extra few moments, stay here. And whenever you feel recover, we'll find a comfortable seated position to finish the practice. Great, so trying to remain with eyes closed for the last bit. Nice and long spine, palms together. Into your Namaste Mudra, close to the heart. See if we can find that natural rhythm of breath right before our practice. See if that changed. And see if we notice any differences in our heart as well. Great, and we'll take the last breath together. So starting here with an exhalation, sending belly button into the spine. And inhaling, reaching up with the arms. And palms together, exhaling, drawing that energy back into the heart. Thank you very much. Namaste. Hope you enjoy the practice. Like I always say, any questions, concerns, feedback, please do. Much appreciated.
Namaste. Thank